with Deputy Tommy Broughan for sharing time with Deputy Pringle.
Thanks, Cathaoirleach, and I'm delighted to have a brief opportunity to speak about the OECD, the roadmap report for SME and entrepreneurship policy in Ireland, and to welcome the fact that it's here in front of us, and hopefully that the Minister will go forward now and soon quickly publish her unified strategy document going into the future. Obviously, SMEs, small and medium enterprises in Ireland, they're a vital part of our economy, employing over 70% of the workforce of 2.3 million people at the moment. And that's kind of typical of the European Union, of course, where about 2/3 of all workers work for SMEs. Even in the UK, I suppose, it's something like half the workforce are also in SMEs, in companies of under 250 people, in the medium companies or small companies under 50, or the micro enterprises under 10 workers. Like many deputies, Cathaoirleach, I've worked in small and medium enterprises in the past, and of course I've been a director of a community enterprise centre and involved in the training of our local entrepreneurs on the north side of Dublin for more than 3 decades. And throughout that time, of course, there have been many initiatives by organisations such as the area partnerships, in the case of Dublin Bay North, of course, North-South Partnership, and other organisations, of course, like Pubble, Sullus, our Revenue, the Department of Employment Affairs and Social Protection, and your own department, Minister, and of course the LEOs of Dublin City Council and Fingal County Council in my area. And they've all played, I think, a vital role over the years in supporting the development of small business. And I think what you need to do now with the unified strategy, or with the new strategy, is to come forward and try and address some of the deficiencies in the sector, and particularly obviously with Brexit looming over us. So it is welcome that you commissioned this piece of work last year, Minister. When I look through it on the various themes and actions, it does seem that there are many common sense initiatives which could be taken. I welcome, of course, that you've set up the Interdepartmental Consultative Group, which I believe is chaired by Minister of State Deputy Broughan. The 11 actions, as I've said, under the 6 themes, they do, of course, refer again to the work that's already been put in place to develop enterprise at the small and medium level. For example, the Action 2 calls for an online business diagnostic tool, or for the whole idea of being able to benchmark small businesses and improve their access to finance, and also their skills in recruitment and obviously in marketing their particular products. One of the areas, obviously, that other deputies have referred to, where SMEs sometimes are squeezed out, is, of course, in the R&D area in relation to the tax credits. And I think Action 3 is asking for simplified, pre-approval process and so on. It's skewed towards the larger companies to give the smaller companies a chance in this regard, and the partnerships, and indeed, as one of my colleagues here has mentioned, even small co-op businesses as well. Action 5, of course, talks about the slow rate, I think, of digitalisation, and the fact that that's an area that the LEOs in particular could play a strong role in helping small businesses. And also, of course, there's been reference to clusters, and we've seen that it's very successful indeed in our own country, but also in places like in Germany, some of our sister jurisdictions in the European Union. Obviously, we need access to credit. There's mention there about the trading online voucher programme, and the fact that, again, SMEs need better resources in order to be able to pursue those kind of policy, or those kind of implements to develop their businesses. I notice Action 9 talks about, again, access to finance through the Micro-Enterprise Loan Fund, etc. Action 10, which it refers to, I think, for tax relief for non-domiciled new hires by Irish SMEs, it's involving the SARP programme, I think, Minister, the Special Assignee Relief Programme. But there have been a lot of concerns, I think, at the Budget Oversight Committee, and I certainly indicated that in my own budget submission in relation to how SARP works and how it can discriminate, how the programme has expanded, and of course how it's been taken advantage of by some larger companies. But I'm not sure if it's the right implement for SMEs. Other areas, of course, that have been highlighted in the report are the levels of productivity. The fact that productivity, the National Competitive Council has already mentioned this in its productivity statement in 2019, that we need measures and supports to boost productivity in SMEs, and also, of course, to increase the National Competitiveness Council has also drawn attention to this. So, in conclusion, Minister, I think that there's more than enough evidence, I think, to show that our Irish SMEs, they must be supported better in the future. I think we've got a roadmap here to help us to do this, and I welcome the report, and I urge the government to implement its key recommendations as soon as possible. Thanks, Catherine.